So if I could turn the conversation back to you, I mean, Vishal's talking about these big continental-sized markets, but it seems as though from looking through some of your presentation material, you're talking about some of these fallen angels that may look interesting. I mean, are there any standouts in terms of these countries that are a little bit out of the main periphery?
Sure. I think when people talk about fallen angels, typically it's an IG credit, whether it's a country or a corporation that's been downgraded to high yield. And really, within emerging markets, there's been very little of that that's happened over the last 12 months. There were some countries like Colombia and Romania where we thought they're on the cusp of high yield. They are running slightly higher fiscal deficits, and maybe rating agencies will be quick to move on them. But that hasn't materialized. I think it's still a risk maybe in the next 6 to 12 months. We're actually starting to see growth pick up in both places. We're seeing some signaling from the the finance ministry to suggest that, maybe they'll actually do the right thing and avoid the downgrade in the near term. We've seen some downgrades on the corporate and the quasi-sovereign side. So the one big place where we have exposure and we actually added following downgrades was in Pemex, which is Mexico's oil and gas state-owned company. It's a high-yield issuer, but it has the support, which we think the market doesn't adequately compensate it from the government, which is an IG issuer itself, and we think it will be behind Pemex no matter what, so to speak, which is, I know, a rather aggressive comment to make, but when you talk to the finance ministry in Mexico, you talk to the policymakers, they're very adamant about making this point. So there are a few places where we have so-called fallen angels, like in Mexico, where we're actually happy to add risk because we think the market is being overcompensated, or we as investors are being overcompensated for the actual risks that are being borne. So that's just one example, but I would say it's been remarkable how few actual fallen angels on the sovereign side that we've seen over the last 12 plus months, despite the shocks that we've just talked about.
Yeah.
投资一定有风险，基金投资有赚有赔，申购前应详阅公开说明书与投资人须知。